As an owner-operator, I definitely feel that there's a lot more detail and responsibility that you have to take. If you want to stay in business, you're gonna have to perform. Don't be scared, Take that step forward, learn from everybody. Don't be scared to ask questions. Always be willing to go the extra mile. As I was doing all of those things, everything started becoming a lot more smoother. If you get into the industry for the income, and to me, the income is there for what is out there, that I've had my hands on so many different jobs. I have met doctors that are doing this. The income is there, but you're not gonna make it at home. You're just not gonna sit home and get it. The dream job of local and stay home all the time, the ceiling is very low. Even as an owner-operator, there's more benefit for being away. I was born in Amherst, Massachusetts, 1973. My parents are Puerto Rican and Dominican. They migrated over here. I was the youngest of two. I have an older sister. I did go to the Dominican Republic for a couple years and live over there. My mom kind of wanted me to see the world in a different set of eyes than just here in the United States. I didn't have a male role model in my life, so I guess kind of trucks and engineering and fixing things were just not part of my everyday. I did everything from working in the movie theater, fast food restaurants, bowling alleys, delivering newspapers, cutting grass. Hurricane hit when I was in high school, and there was a lot of construction work going on, so I got my hands dirty fixing roofs and hanging drywall. Anything I could that I felt was worth my time. I'll never forget, I was 13 years old. I was in my friend's room. Hip hop was in style at that time. We would watch like Yo MTV Raps and music videos on TV. I was just mixing in his room. You could just kind of listen to the two songs and see that they match. The equipment I was using really wasn't too standard, like to say that you could go ahead and do a party. But I made these two songs work, and it clicked to me, and it was a good feeling that I accomplished something, like I did something on the radio. So little by little, my little side jobs, I would save some money and I'd buy some equipment and I'd do my research and look into it. And next thing I knew, I was doing house parties for people, pep rallies for the school. Once they found out that I was DJing and I was pretty good at it, that was a lot of fun. I wasn't popular, but when you're doing events like that, and the whole football team's there and the cheerleaders and stuff, and you're playing the songs, it was quite rewarding. I did very well, and I accomplished a lot of goals. I definitely fed my family well, DJing. Late nights, you're gonna work weekends. Sometimes I'm opening the door on the way out of the club and you see the sun coming up. So I'm very used to late hours. My kids are awesome. I have a 21-year-old. He already has a associate's degree in business. Right now he is self-maintained. I bought him a car, so he's waiting tables right now. I really don't push. We all have these expectations. As a parent, I've learned it's better to let them be individuals and be supportive of them, and I know he'll find his way. He sees how well I'm doing. My daughter, she's 9. She lives predominantly with her mom. That was in this industry, something that people have to weigh. If you have family, how serious is it that you need to be home? Fortunate for me, her mom is very supporting due to my attitude that I try to convey with everybody, and she works around my schedule. Love him to death. Very fortunate. To give a recommendation to anybody, I would not recommend becoming an owner-operator from the beginning. I would definitely work as a company driver. That way you can see if you really like it. I find that working for the company as a company driver really was able to give me the idea. I think that that was a bonus starting off as a company driver as opposed to owning my own truck. You have to be able to think outside of the box. There's so many variables that happen. I mean, it could be a forest fire and they shut down the road. Now all of a sudden you're waiting around, you know? Instead of just sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna be late and don't say anything. Communication is key. Even if I'm not saying make all the phone calls and do, dispatch is there to help you, but you need to communicate. You have to let them know that you're running late. Then they can talk with their brokers. They can talk with the receivers and the shippers. Everybody knows what's going on, so it's better prepared. Now when you show up, you're just not coming there with your truck like, hey, how are you? And they have 10 trucks, you know, ahead of you. And then now, how do they fit you in so that you can continue working? Coming from an impoverished background is a plus. I take accountability into everything. So if I blow a tire, I'm still thinking about delivering this thing on time. I am not like, oh, I blew a tire, you know, let them fix it and let me tell them this and I'll start the next day, you know. When I bought my first semi-truck, it was nerve-wracking. I'm really not a hands-on fix-it person, so you're gonna take thousands of dollars and invested in a piece of equipment that you're not knowledgeable about. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know how to drive stick shift. As for the financial end of it, learn everything you can to keep rolling. Safety is a big issue. DOT, the company's gonna want their equipment right, so there's no avoiding high expenses. You're gonna have breakdowns. You're gonna have them, so you better prepare yourself for it. You can't live check to check doing this. If you're gonna be an owner-operator, you cannot do that. My recommendation would be run as hard as you can. If you get in and you don't have some reserve capital for these instances, make sure that that is your main priority. I don't sleep well. I've never had anything near this amount, what I'm gonna say. But I will not sleep good if I don't have $20,000 to $25,000 at least. Because if you're gonna become an owner-operator and now this has become your profession and this is your livelihood, it's like any other mechanic. You know, you're as good as your equipment. What I do to stay in pretty decent shape is I have a jump rope. I have a dumbbell in my truck. I do push-ups. I'll put my feet on the steps, like elevate myself and do some push-ups. The jump rope comes out a little more in the winter time because running is just not, if I can find a spot, you know? But if I'm waiting to get loaded, if you're an owner-operator, you're gonna do a lot of live loads. It's just the nature of the business. So while they're loading me, I'll just kind of, you know, do some arm curls or some forearm work. And if they're continuing, sometimes it might take a couple of hours. Sometimes they might get you in an hour. Sometimes it's even longer than that. So I'll work out while they're doing that, because a lot of times after the shift, you don't have that kind of energy. And I really think that this is huge. I mean, to be quite honest, when you look around, there are a lot of depressed drivers, out of shape drivers. I think all of those things contribute the way that they're looked at, you know? Depression, you're alone a lot, you know? So I really think that it's up to the individual, because you talk to some drivers, they're miserable. You talk to other drivers, people think I'm a breath of fresh air. I mean, that's normally what I get. Even when I'm tired, I don't honk my horn when people cut me off. You're gonna get cut off. I've understood all of this stuff, so I try not to let it break into my peace. Having supplies on the truck is gonna help you from pulling over. I definitely try to hit up Walmarts and buy supplies for the week. That keeps me moving. And then if you're at these shippers or receivers and you're there for long durations of time, if you don't eat, you get cranky, you get agitated, you don't deal with others well. Securing the load is a priority. I'll do all of these other things around that, the exercise, the supplies, the maintenance, everything I will do, aside from that. So that helps me be more productive than the average. I think if people understood the importance of what they were doing and how important the safety measure is, because you get people cutting you off and brake checking you, they don't understand, if you're in the city and you're just making a turn and somebody's on the sidewalk and your tire just gets the front of their ankle, that ankle's gone. If they could understand a little bit more as to what they're doing and the mental difficulties that they go through on a daily basis, not seeing your children, being stuck in traffic, being held up, not getting enough sleep, not being healthy, because that's difficult. You're sitting down all the time. And then, how do you muster up the energy to exercise after you've put in a 14-hour shift? On my free time to, I guess, stay full as an individual and not be miserable, just being alone I feed my mind with a lot of information. When I find myself sitting around, I won't just sit there and rot. I'll try to stay active. And reading books, audiobooks, I do that a lot, So I think that actually has helped me extremely in being an owner-operator, is listening to information. People that have what I want, success itself. Educated truck drivers, people that have been around the block. I've literally learned things by listening and watching.